what are we going to do? We're going to figure out what are some things we can do in our minds that rich people do. Okay. So we have to find what rich people believe. I'm telling you, rich people believe something very different than poor people believe. And I remember listening to Jim Rohn when I was broke. Oh, I was hearing the story yesterday with somebody. With Dr. Sonia, when I did that interview. I remember that when I first got started in entrepreneurship, I used to rebuild cars, like engines, transmissions, body work, and I'd buy a car for $100 and I'd fix it up and sell it for $700, or I'd buy a car for $500 and fix it up and sell it for $1,300. And I might have to put a transmission, or I might have to put an engine, I might have to put a fender on it, I might have to do some body work, might have to put a paint job on it. And I did all of that in my garage at my house. And so I'm pretty mechanically inclined. And then what I'd do after I got the car fixed, actually sometimes even before I got it fixed, because we had to go shake the money tree, I'd advertise the car in the classified ads of the newspaper. Y'all remember newspapers, don't y'all? Okay, so they had these things called classified ads, and you could advertise stuff you had for sale in the newspaper. And so I'd run the ad, and then somebody would call, and then come by, and I'd show them the car, and then they'd buy it, and they'd pay me the money, and I'd sign the title over to them. And every time, like, we were really poor, and every time I'd sell a car, me and my wife would celebrate by going on a shopping spree. And we didn't go to Macy's, and we didn't go to Sears, and we didn't go to JCPenney. We definitely didn't go to Neiman Marcus. We didn't even go to Kmart or Walmart. We went to AmVets, Salvation Army, or Goodwill. I remember those days like they were yesterday. And interestingly enough, one of those times, and I wasn't even really poor then. I was actually a pastor of a church at the time this happened, but I still shopped at Goodwill, right? I used to buy all of my suits and everything, ties, all that stuff at Goodwill and at Salvation Army. So I was at Goodwill. This was when I was pastoring in Brunswick, Georgia. Me and my wife went to Goodwill, and we're looking around, just kind of looking around, see what they have. Found this box filled with motivational tapes. Most of them were Amway tapes. Okay. And one of those tapes was Jim Rohn, The Day That Changes Your Life. Little did I know that cassette tape that I bought at Goodwill would be one of the components that changed my life that day. Because here's what Jim Rohn said. Jim Rohn said, I was talking to my mentor, Mr. Earl Shoaff, and he asked me the question. He says, how are you doing, Mr. Rohn? He said, well, I'm not doing that good. He said, well, how is it that you're, a healthy American man and you're 26 years old and you're still not doing that well financially? He said, well, at my job, he said, that's all they pay. Mr. Shoaff said, Mr. Rohn, that's not all they pay. That's all they pay you. Are there people at your job they pay more than they pay you? He said, yes. Well, then that's not all they pay. That's just all they pay you. And he said, Mr. Rohn, if you will change, everything will change for you. I thought, wow, that's really fascinating. If you will change, everything will change for you. One of the things that we have to change is we have to change the things we believe. That's all they pay. One of the things that poor people do with their mind, in fact, I just got a great idea. I want to change this. This just hit. This is so cool. Since we're going to look at these categories, we might as well do it like this. Rich people, poor people. With our mind, rich people believe in our leverage. Poor people believe in their limitations. Poor people believe in their limitations. And so one of the things you're going to have to do with your mind is you're going to have to believe in your leverage more than you believe in your limitations. What does that mean? It means you're going to have to believe in your possibilities more than you believe in your problems. You're going to have to believe in your abilities more than you believe in your liabilities. And are your liabilities just you lying about your abilities anyway? Or believing the lies that other people told you about your abilities? And so that's a very big difference in belief. Like, I believe that everything is possible for me. Let me ask you a question. Do you believe that everything's possible? And I know some of you right now, even as these words are falling out of my mouth, you're making an excuse for yourself and you're saying, and I'm not judging you, I'm just saying, I know this is how this works because this is how it worked in me when I was you. You're saying, yeah, that's easy for you to say. You make a lot of money. But the reason I make a lot of money is because I became the person for whom that's easy for me to say. Are y'all tracking? Like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, according to God, the chicken came first. And so the belief comes before the behavior. The mindset comes before the asset. And so many people don't have the mindset. Like, you have a mindset that's been programmed to you by the culture hypnotic societal mechanism. Your parents participated in it, your teachers, your pastors, your Sunday school teachers, your siblings, your friends, your neighbors, your bosses. They all participated in creating a mindset in you that made sure, inadvertently, they didn't do it intentionally, some of them, inadvertently, that you didn't get too much farther ahead of them, because if you did, it's going to make them feel like they're wasting their life. And some of you, as soon as you get a little bit ahead of the people you love, you start pumping the brakes because you don't want them to feel bad about how good you're doing. Am I telling the truth? Yeah. But see, and I used to do that. I ain't doing that no more. I can't slow down slow enough to make you go faster. Did I say that too fast? And see, sometimes it's not even the people around us that's what they desire for us. Sometimes that's just what we perceive that they desire for us. And so we initiate that whole thing ourselves. So we have to change what we believe. So I know for me, I can't speak for all rich people, but I can speak for me. I know for me, I don't look at something and decide that it's hard before I even endeavor to do it.